Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 27th of Jan 2025 and unfortunately guys, the price of Bitcoin in the global cryptocurrency market is on a downtrend and the reason is pretty simple. Just 2 days from now is when the FOMC meeting is scheduled to take place and based on that guys, Federal Chair Jerome Powell will be making a decision whether to keep the interest rate, reduce the interest rate or increase it. Now there's a very high possibility he might keep the interest rate the same. And that, to be honest guys, in an idealistic world would be great. And that should in a realistic world mean that the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency should be pumping up. But look guys, we are definitely not living in an idealistic world, isn't it? It truly depends on what mainstream media goes ahead and puts out. And that news unfortunately dominates the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But nonetheless guys, in my Blockchain DXB podcast, I'll definitely go ahead and discuss what the FOMC meeting is. And I'll also go ahead and share what mainstream media is talking about it. Now in today's episode guys, we have quite a lot of things to cover. And things are definitely looking good for the United States of America. And this is only because of President Donald Trump, isn't it? And looks like not only does he want to make America great again, he also wants to make Bitcoin and cryptocurrency great again. Now it's really important to understand guys, there is a lot of fake news circulating via LinkedIn as well as mainstream media. And the reason is pretty simple. A lot of them want to overhype this news. So what I'll do guys in today's episode, I'll go ahead and discuss what news is relevant so far as the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is concerned, as well as adoption and the US leadership is concerned. Now it's really important to note guys, you need to look at information from the first source, and in the show notes below, there is a link directly to the White House website and there are executive actions that are signed by President Donald Trump, so we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this. Now look guys, there are quite a lot of executive actions that are signed by President Donald Trump. Now it's needless to say I won't be going through all of them. I would only go through information that is connected to cryptocurrencies. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, go to the White House website, click on the executive actions, and rather than going through the entire thing, in the search button you can type in blockchain, Bitcoin or even cryptocurrencies and it will sort out the executive actions based on this news. But there's just one thing to remember guys, there are news that are connected to artificial intelligence that will be showing up in this as well. Now in today's episode, I won't go ahead and touch base on all the news regarding artificial intelligence. I'll only go ahead and touch base on news that is connected to cryptocurrencies, blockchain, as well as a bit of information that is connected to artificial intelligence. Because if I were to cover all of these things, it might take me at least a couple of hours. So what I'd really recommend you to do is go to the official White House website, look at information, or what I'll do is guys, I will go ahead and release an episode that is done only by artificial intelligence, and that way you might be able to go ahead and get detailed information regarding it. So stay tuned to the blockchain episode for the AI series. Now look, so far as President Donald Trump is concerned guys, he definitely wants US to be the leader in the cryptocurrency space, and one of the executive actions that he signed is that central bank digital currencies will be banned, and that to be honest guys is absolutely positive news. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. Now look guys, with President Donald Trump getting re-elected, Gary Gensler, the chair of SEC, has been fired, isn't it? And there are quite a lot of rumors going on right now that along with Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETF, we might be getting a Solana ETF, maybe a Dogecoin ETF, a Ripple ETF, and even Litecoin ETF. So I'll go ahead and discuss what this news is all about. So it looks like the cryptocurrency world is definitely filled with a lot of action, isn't it? Now the next news guys is definitely a really mysterious and interesting news, and this is to do with the founder of McAfee. And John McAfee guys is proclaimed to be dead, isn't it? But looks like he's back from the dead. Really strange and bizarre to be honest, cause in his Twitter or X account guys, looks like someone is promoting an AI driven token. Now look guys, if you truly know the ins and outs of John McAfee, there's a lot of skepticism regarding his death, because apparently he had access to Hillary Clinton's emails account, and because of that some lunatics were after him. But the news essentially was that few years ago he was proclaimed to be dead, but looks like his Twitter or X account is back once again. Now a lot of users are speculating that his account has been hacked, but let's see guys what the future to this particular token is. Now the final news guys is all the way from Brazil, and looks like Brazil wants to go ahead and ban OpenAI's coin, that is Worldcoin. So in today's episode, I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode, and like we do in every Crypto and Coffee at 8 series, we will be looking at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys is more to do with the research center, and BITS Pilani Dubai campus, they have established Ankit Gaur Center of Excellence in Blockchain and Artificial Intelligence Research. So I'll definitely go and touch base on this news. And based on my understanding, guys, this project is headquartered in India. So really interesting news. Now the second news, guys, is all the way from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And HDAIA, that is Saudi Data for Artificial Intelligence, they are granting accreditation certificates to AI service providers in Saudi Arabia. So we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this. So quite a lot of cover, guys, in today's episode actually. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well. And Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously. And they're focusing on 3 Ps. That is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform. Check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now since the last 24 hours guys, the global cryptocurrency market has definitely taken a massive hit, and fake news and mainstream media are saying that because of President Donald Trump, we're definitely heading towards inflation. Now it's really important to understand guys, the FOMC meeting that is scheduled to take place on the 29th of this month is taking information when Joe Biden was in office, so really I'm not sure why President Donald Trump has to take all the blame, but this is the nature of left-leaning mainstream media, isn't it? Now because of that news guys, looks like the prices of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies has been going down, and truth be told guys, I really am not liking the volume of stable coins, because this would mean over the next coming days, there is a very high possibility that the prices will be going down. Now we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on the volume of stable coins, but before that let me quickly run to the global cryptocurrency snapshot. Now the global cryptocurrency market is at $3.43 trillion, and since the last 24 hours it is down by 5.16%. Now if you look at the global cryptocurrency market volume guys, it is definitely on the higher side, but because the volume of stable coins is down, the data actually states that people are selling a lot of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and converting them into fiat currency. That, to be honest, is definitely not good, isn't it? And also, if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume since the last 24 hours, it is actually down by 34.36%. Now, let's quickly run through the volume of decentralized finance. Today, the volume is at $9.7 billion. And DeFi guys as of today accounts for less than 10% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. It is only accounting for 8.83%, and so far as the total value locked is concerned, it is at $120.59 billion. Now one matrix which I'm kind of content, that is the decentralized to centralized exchange dominance, and today it is at 42.79%, but because the prices are going down guys, there is a very high possibility that people are converting a lot of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies onto stablecoin using decentralized exchanges, but because the volume of stablecoins is less, I'm not that content despite the percentage being high. Now let's quickly run to the volume of decentralized exchanges, and looks like for the second week in a row, Radium's volume is picking up pace, and today it is still at number 1 at $4.30 billion. Uniswap guys today is at number 2nd, and today's 24-hour volume is $2.47 billion. PancakeSwap is at number 3rd. Its 24-hour volume is $2.17 billion. Meteor Gas is at number 4th, and its 24-hour volume is $1.42 billion. Orca Gas is at number 5th, and its 24-hour volume is $1.09 billion. Now let's quickly run to the volume of stable coins, because since the last 24 hours guys, the numbers are definitely not looking that great, and because the prices are going down, I'd really like to have seen this number around the $200 billion mark. Then to be honest guys, I would have been content that in the next coming days and weeks, there is a very high possibility that the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will be pumping up. Unfortunately guys, the volume of stablecoins is half of what I wanted it to be, and it is well below the $100 billion mark. The volume of stablecoins is only at $98.06 billion, and stablecoins as of today is accounting for 89.33% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And it's no surprise guys that Tether USDT's volume is still leading the pack, and its 24-hour volume is $84.84 billion. Circle USDC is at number 2nd, and its volume is $7.78 billion. And FDUSD guys is at number 3rd, and its 24-hour volume is $5.17 billion. Now let's quickly run to the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now unfortunately guys, looks like Bitcoin market cap has gone below the $2 trillion mark once again, and right now it is at $1.99 trillion, whereas Ethereum's market cap is well below the $400 billion mark. It is at $380 billion. Now if you look at the 24-hour trading volume guys, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $36.10 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $20.10 billion. Now if you look at the dominance of Bitcoin guys, the dominance is definitely pumped up, but because the prices are going down, we would not want the dominance to be increasing, isn't it? But unfortunately guys, these are some of the dangers and volatility of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space. The dominance of Bitcoin is 57.92%, whereas Ethereum's dominance is at 11.10%. Now because Radium as a DEX is still at number 1, I'm definitely anticipating a lot of transactions are actually taking place in Solana blockchain. Now in today's episode guys, what I want to do is, I want to go ahead and revisit the NFT lifetime earnings. So what I'm looking, guys, is the total lifetime earnings of NFT earnings, and it's no surprise that number one is Yuga Labs, and its lifetime earnings is $569.14 million. The second one is Azuki, and his lifetime earning is $129.44 million. The third one, guys, is Dear Friends by Gary Vee, and looks like he has made a lifetime profit of $122.22 million, and it's clearly no surprise as to why he was a massive advocate of NFTs. Now the number fourth is CloneX, and his lifetime earning is $119.12 million. And Proof Collective is at number 5th, and his lifetime earning is $100.56 million. Now guys, let's go ahead and look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And the price of Bitcoin is almost on the verge of going below the $100,000 mark, because right now it is at $100,423. And since the last 24 hours it is down by 4.23%, and since the last 7 days it is down by 1.93%. Ethereum, guys, is at $3,154, and since the last 24 hours it is down by 5.40%, and since the last 7 days it is down by 4.28%. XRP or Ripple, guys, is well below the $3 mark, and right now it is at $2.96, and since the last 24 hours it is down by 5.58%, and since the last 7 days it is down by 4.86%. Now look, guys, this is what I honestly feel. I do feel that the FOMC meeting won't be that bad, and if Federal Chair Jerome Powell does actually decide to keep the interest rate the same, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency should be pumping up. But look, guys, historically what happens is, mainstream media, they go ahead and put out a completely different narrative, and because President Donald Trump is now sworn in, I'm pretty much sure a lot of left-leaning mainstream media, they will be putting out a completely different narrative, and they will put out a fear that the inflation will be rising, and the US economy is heading towards a downturn, and that news essentially could actually drive down the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I'm just hoping I'm 100% wrong on this, guys, because look, President Donald Trump definitely wants to go ahead and make Bitcoin and cryptocurrency great again. And so far as the United States of America is concerned, he definitely wants to have US to have crypto leadership, and he also wants to go ahead and put an outright ban on central bank digital currency. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, go to the White House website and look to the executive actions, and that would give you an idea as to what is it that President Donald Trump is doing, not just in the world of cryptocurrencies, but even in the field of artificial intelligence. Now in today's episode, guys, I won't touch more regarding artificial intelligence, but as I mentioned earlier, I will release a standalone episode in the AI series, and in that episode we'll take a deep dive into artificial intelligence, cryptocurrencies, blockchain and Bitcoin as well. Now regarding today's episode, guys, let's focus more only on cryptocurrencies, and President Donald J. Trump signed an executive order to secure the United States' position as a global leader in digital financial technology by providing regulatory clarity and fostering innovation in the digital asset economy. So one of the key actions of this executive order, guys, was the establishment of the Presidential Working Group on Digital Asset Market. And here's the important thing to note, guys. They will be tasked with developing a federal regulatory framework for digital assets, and this will include stablecoins. Now the second part is where the whole drama started, guys, in the LinkedIn world, because this particular working group will evaluate creating a strategic national digital asset stockpile. Now via LinkedIn, guys, a lot of mainstream media are actually talking about a Bitcoin strategic reserve. That, to be honest, need not be necessarily true, because President Donald Trump only said that they will evaluate creating a strategic national digital asset stockpile, and this not only includes Bitcoin but other cryptocurrencies as well. But more importantly, guys, so far as this Presidential Working Group on Digital Asset Market is concerned, it will be chaired by the White House AI and Crypto Czar, alongside key officials like the Secretary of Treasury and the SEC Chair as well. And this particular department, guys, will engage with industry experts to ensure a balanced and informed approach. This is in contrast approach to what the left-leaning administration was doing, isn't it? Now Joe Biden, guys, he had something called as Operation Choke Point 2.0. And in that, guys, a lot of restrictions was actually put on the banking industry, and the Biden administration was definitely not a fan of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now this particular working group, guys, will also have to make regulatory adjustments, and the departments and agencies must identify regulations impacting the digital asset sector, and they will be recommending modifications or restrictions to the working group. But according to me, guys, one of the most important thing was regarding central bank digital currencies, and looks like President Donald Trump has kept his promises. And in his rallies, guys, he often talked about that he will be putting an outright ban on central bank digital currencies, and looks like promises made were being kept. And in the executive order, guys, it clearly states that agencies are prohibited from taking actions to establish, issue, or even promote central bank digital currencies. This, to be honest, guys, is definitely the most important move done by President Donald Trump, particularly when you talk about freedom of speech, freedom of money, and even Bitcoin, to be completely honest. The executive order regarding the working group also revokes a prior administration digital asset executive order and Treasury Department's framework for integral engagement on digital assets, which hindered a lot of innovation in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, particularly in the United States of America, guys. And in the executive order, he has actually put down goals and visions, and looks like the United States of America under President Donald Trump's leadership will heavily foster innovation, and they will halt executive enforcement actions and regulatory overreach to support crypto innovation. And so far as economic liberty is concerned, guys, President Donald Trump definitely wants to protect the US economic freedom, and they're doing that by ensuring minimal government interference in digital financial markets. And regarding global leadership, guys, looks like this particular executive order cements America's role as crypto capital of the planet, and they're doing that by the executive order by creating clear regulatory framework and at the same time promoting a thriving economy for digital financial technology. And this particular executive order, guys, was actually signed on the 23rd of January 2025. Now, along with this, guys, let me go ahead and touch base on another executive order, and this is connected to Bitcoin blockchain cryptocurrencies, and it was also signed on the 23rd of January 2025. And the executive order emphasizes the United States' commitment to promoting leadership in digital assets as well as blockchain technologies, while at the same time ensuring economic liberty as well. So let me quickly run through the key policies regarding the executive order, and there are 6 of them, guys. And the first one talks about open blockchain network, and what this executive order states that the United States of America under President Donald Trump is protecting the right of individuals and private entities to access and use open blockchain networks for lawful purposes, and this includes developing software, mining, validating and transacting, and self-custody of digital assets without persecution or censorship. And under blockchain network, guys, they also talk about regulatory clarity. This, to be honest, is such a brilliant move, and looks like the focus is on establishing technology-neutral regulations and transparent frameworks to foster innovation in permissionless blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and even distributed ledger technologies. This includes Hedera, Hashgraph, and other things, isn't it? Now, regarding stablecoins, guys, the executive order discusses promoting dollar-backed stablecoins, and this is to reinforce the sovereignty of the US dollar globally. According to me, guys, this is a genius move by President Donald Trump, and something which I mentioned earlier is regarding the prohibition of central bank digital currencies, and that is the second key policy, and the order explicitly prohibits the establishment, issuance, or promotion of central bank digital currencies by US agencies. And the executive order citing concerns over financial stability, privacy, and sovereignty as well. And check this out, guys. Ongoing CBDC related initiatives at federal agencies are to be terminated immediately. Now, the third policy, guys, talks about President's Working Group on Digital Asset Markets, and the executive order establishes a working group that I mentioned earlier, and they will be tasked with evaluating and shaping federal regulatory framework for digital assets. And their key objectives, guys, include proposing a comprehensive framework for the issuance as well as operation of cryptocurrencies and stablecoins, and it will be focusing on market structure, consumer protection, and risk management. And also the objective is on exploring the creation of a national digital asset stockpile, potentially sourced from seized cryptocurrency. This, to be honest, is definitely a genius move, isn't it? And one of the key objectives is holding public hearings and consulting industry leaders, and this will include experts in blockchain and digital markets for actionable insights. Definitely brilliant move in my honest opinion. Now, regarding the fourth policy, guys, it talks about blockchain definition and principles, and the executive order defines blockchain as a technology used to create public ledger of transactions and information through cryptography, distributed network, and publicly available source code. Now, I'm really liking, guys, that they mentioned distributed network and not decentralized network, because there is a massive difference between distributed and decentralized network. And do one thing, guys, go to Google and just type in decentralized and look at the image, and then look at distributed. And when you talk about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchain, guys, we are operating on a distributed network, not necessarily decentralized network. Now, going back to the policy, guys, the fifth one is regarding the intersection of AI and digital assets. Now, while the order does not specifically detail AI application, the inclusion of special advisor for AI and crypto in the working group does actually signal an intent to explore AI's role in advancing digital asset innovation and regulation. Now, it's also important to remember, guys, I'm not talking about artificial intelligence in this particular episode, but if you actually go to the executive actions, There are loads of information regarding artificial intelligence as well. Now, the final key policy I want to touch base is the sixth one, and that is revocation of prior policies, and the executive order revokes prior frameworks, including Executive Order 14067 in 2022, to align digital asset policies with new vision for blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and stable growth. So look guys, so far as President Donald Trump is concerned, he definitely wants to go ahead and make United States of America great again. So it's going to be really interesting to see guys, with President Donald Trump taking into office, what kind of an impact does it have on the price, as well as adoption of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and even blockchain technology. And once again guys, this is just basic level information regarding the executive orders that he signed on the 23rd of January. I will release a standalone episode, and in that AR series guys, you'll get all the information regarding artificial intelligence, cryptocurrencies, blockchain, as well as the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. Now guys, let's go ahead and touch base some news regarding crypto ETFs. And look guys, with President Donald Trump's administration, SEC Chair Gary Gensler has resigned as well, and looks like there is a lot of news and speculation regarding ETFs. And right now the cryptocurrency ETF market is rapidly expanding beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum, with issuers now seeking approval for funds tracking altcoins like Dogecoin, Solana, XRP or Ripple, even Hedera's H-bar, and one of the OG cryptocurrencies called as Litecoin. Now there is news speculating that right now proposed Solana ETFs, including the VanEck Solana Trust and Bitwa Solana ETF, could actually attract $4 to $8 billion in investment. But here's the interesting thing guys, so far as the approval is concerned, it may be delayed until 2026, and this is due to regulatory uncertainties. Now regarding Dogecoin ETF guys, there is an update, because Dogecoin ETFs such as Rex Osprey Doge ETF could actually debut as early as April 2025, and this is driven by expedited review process. And along with Dogecoin ETF guys, XRP ETF like the Rex Osprey, XRP ETF and 21 shares core XRP Trust are also under review. And let's say guys, if this thing could be approved, there's anticipation that it could actually bring in another $3 to $6 billion. Now regarding Litecoin's ETF guys, including those from CoinShares and Canary Capital, they may see quicker approval due to Litecoin's less contagious regulatory status. Additionally guys, meme-coin-based ETF including Trump and Bonk are also gaining a lot of attention right now, and there are rumors speculating that they may be launched in April of 2025, but that is only if the expedited review process goes smoothly. Now look guys, while these ETFs could collectively attract billions, analysts do actually know that they are unlikely to replicate the success of Bitcoin ETF. Now look guys, me personally, I'm not a fan of any ETF, be it Bitcoin or even spot ETF, cause look, while crypto ETFs may attract institutional investors and mainstream adoption, they do actually conflict with the core ethos of Bitcoin and decentralized cryptocurrencies, isn't it? And according to me guys, Bitcoin was designed to empower individuals to self-custody, giving us full control over our wealth without relying on intermediaries. However guys, when you talk about ETFs, they are under centralized ownership, and fund managers hold the assets on behalf of investors, and this undermines the whole principles of financial sovereignty in my honest opinion. Moreover guys, when you talk about ETF, they do introduce third-party risk and regulatory oversight, and they do move away from Bitcoin's trustless and permissional nature, isn't it? And by prioritizing convenience over self-custody guys, according to me, ETF encourages users to give up control over their private keys, which contradicts the mantra of not your keys, not your coin. And this shift risks reinforcing traditional financial systems rather than challenging them, and it does dilute the original version of distributed peer-to-peer money in my honest opinion. So let me know guys if you're a fan of ETF, or do you dislike it just like me, or if you have any thoughts and comments regarding ETF, mention them in the comments below. Now guys, let me go ahead and very briefly touch base on a really mysterious news, and this is to do with John McAfee. Now looks like guys, he might be back from the dead, but regarding this news is concerned guys, the late great John McAfee's X account was used to promote an AI-driven token, and this particular token is called as AI Antivirus. But look, questions remain about the project's legitimacy and who controls the official account. Now in the show notes below, I've got it and put out the official Twitter or X account, so please feel free to go to look at it. Now regarding this particular token guys, it is connected to a project called as AI Antivirus, which is an AI-driven token inspired by John McAfee's mission to defend digital freedom, and its aim is to disrupt surveillance, corporate greed and digital control. And this particular token wants to promote privacy, freedom and defense against the establishment. Now if you do need more information regarding this particular project guys, the website is aiantivirus.ai. Me personally guys, I really am not sure what to make of it. Now look guys, regarding John McAfee, I do actually question the legitimacy of his death, because people who are very close to him definitely say that he's still alive. So let's see, guys, if there's some really interesting drama that is going to be unfolded regarding him. Now, guys, let's go to discuss some news all the way from Brazil. And Brazil's APND has suspended Tool for Humanity, that is TFH, from offering cryptocurrency incentives for RSS data collection, citing concerns over compromised content, potential exploitation of vulnerable individuals, and the irreversible nature of biometric data usage. And regarding this news, guys, Tools of Humanity must also disclose the data processing officer on its website, so this definitely looks like a very positive and a very strong sign regarding protecting privacy, isn't it? Now I'm really curious to check if other countries will be doing something similar as well. And let me also go ahead and check if the Worldcoin token is affected by this, because last week, guys, when Stargate was announced by President Donald Trump, Sam Altman, who's the founder of OpenAI, he was invited to be as a speaker, and only because of his invitation, guys, the price of token did actually pump up by 15%, so I'm pretty much sure, guys, because this news is negative, the prices should be dumping down, isn't it? And I'm looking at the prices right now, guys. The prices of Worldcoin did actually go down by well over 10%, so definitely interesting news. So these were some macro level newscasts on the cryptocurrency, blockchain and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. Now let's go ahead and look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first one, guys, is regarding a Center of Excellence in Blockchain and AI Research. And BITS Pilani Dubai campus, also called as BPDC, they have established the Ankit Gaur Center for Excellence in Blockchain and AI Research. And the initial launch followed a Memorandum of Understanding signing, and this represented the first endorsement from a work-integrated learning program. And Ankit Gaur is the founder and CEO of Orbit XP, and a 2007 to 2009 BPDC alumnus funded the center. And this particular center will emphasize blockchain, artificial intelligence, and even Web3 technologies. And the purpose of this Center of Excellence is to bridge the gap between academy and industry, and they want to foster innovation and entrepreneurship. And in doing so, guys, they seek to drive global leadership in next-generation technologies, and they plan to nurture an ecosystem of research, innovation, and startups as well. And Ankit Gaur has also established the Nirmala Devi Scholarship for Girls at Hyderabad campus, which is a massive upcoming state in India. And there's some news regarding scholarship as well, because the scholarship covers 100% expenses for deserving female students, supporting education for women. And Ankit Gaur aims to empower undeserved communities through education and technology. And Professor Suri Banerjee, who's the director of BPDC, calls the funding transformative that will enhance blockchain and artificial intelligence research. And Ankit Gaur credits BITS Pilani for shaping his career and express his vision to inspire innovation. And so far as the center is concerned, the center will enable students and research to work on cutting-edge projects, and their aim is to strengthen the startup ecosystem with a focus on blockchain and artificial intelligence. Now, regarding BITS Pilani Dubai campus, guys, it was established in 2007, and it is known for engineering and technology education. And BPDC, guys, is currently ranked 171 in QS Asia University ranking 2025 and holds a 5-star KHDA rating. So definitely interesting news, isn't it? Now the next news, guys, according to me, is definitely massive news, and this is from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And since the last month or so, guys, I'm seeing a lot of certificates being issued regarding artificial intelligence and Saudi data for artificial intelligence. They are granting accreditation certificates to AI service providers, and this is in Saudi Arabia. So let me go ahead and briefly run through this news, because they have begun granting accreditation certificates to service providers in Saudi Arabia already. And this initiative, guys, is part of Saudi Data for Artificial Intelligence Authority's efforts to enhance their maturity and reliability across diverse applications in the kingdom. And the goal is to elevate the quality of AI products and services for citizens, residents, and visitors as well. And this definitely aligns with Vision 2030 for Saudi Arabia. And regarding the assessment platform, guys, entities seeking accreditation will undergo assessment via the National Data Governance Platform, and the platform features tools to evaluate products and services at various AI maturity levels, and there are dedicated entities as well, guys. And dedicated entities can earn incentive tax based on their adherence to AI maturity levels, culminating in accreditation certificates. And this initiative, guys, promotes responsible practices in development and usage of AI products and services. And there are certain tag categories as well, guys, and these tags are issued based on risk levels, categorized as conscious, adaptive, committed, reliable, and pioneer. And regarding the certificate validity, accreditation certificates and tags will be valid for 1 year, reflecting to adherence to AI ethical principles. And incentive scores are designed to enhance adherence to AI ethics and reliability in system development. This initiative supports Saudi data for Artificial Intelligence Authority's strategic objective of promoting responsible AI use and positioning Saudi Arabia as a leader in artificial intelligence. And look guys, Saudi Data for Artificial Intelligence Authority serves as a national reference for data and AI tasked with organizing, developing and managing these sectors, and they have established policies, standards and controls to regulate AI and data usage in the kingdom, and relevant authorities also receive information and establish standards and guidelines from them, and entities can apply for certification and tags to National Data Governance Platform. Now look, since the last month or so, I'm noticing a lot of trends regarding certification and accreditation that are issued by government entities in the world of artificial intelligence. And last week I talked about Dubai. They unveiled a program called a Seal AI, and if companies want to go and work with Dubai or UAE government, that particular certification is 100% compulsory, and based on my understanding, that certification is completely free as well. So really interesting developments taking place in the world of artificial intelligence. So these were the newscasts on the Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, there's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB listening to the Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Robin who asks, do you think cryptocurrency ETFs help or harm the core ethos of decentralization? This, to be honest, Robin, is such a brilliant question, and the answer to that is pretty simple. According to me, when you talk about crypto ETFs, they definitely do not follow the ethos, isn't it? A lot of these issuers, what they tend to do is, they tend to buy Bitcoin, they tend to buy cryptocurrencies, they kind of in a way create certificates out of it, and that certificate is what they sell to the public. But look Robin, only because of BlackRock getting into the spot Bitcoin ETF, the whole narrative regarding Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies has changed, isn't it? So crypto ETFs in one way could help and harm the core ethos of decentralization, or distributed, how I like to call it, and it totally depends on how they are implemented and perceived. On one hand, if you look at it, Robin, ETFs do promote mainstream adoption, and they do that by attracting institutional investors, increasing liquidity, and at the same time legitimizing the cryptocurrency industry in traditional financial markets, and this definitely could lead to more public awareness and acceptance of blockchain technology, isn't it? However, Robin, is really important to understand, when you talk about ETFs, they do fundamentally conflict with the decentralization or distributed principles of Bitcoin, because they centralize ownership, as assets are held by fund managers rather than individuals, and I do feel that introducing third-party risks undermines the ethos of self-custody and personal sovereignty that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies champion. Now, regarding true distributed or decentralization, it does thrive on trustless, peer-to-peer system where users have full control over the private keys and wealth, but ETFs, on the other hand, they prioritize convenience and they strongly encourage users to relinquish their control, diluting the revolutionary potential of blockchain technology. So ultimately, look, the impact of ETFs depend on how they coexist with self-custody solution. While many ETFs may act as on-ramp for adoption, I very strongly feel, Robin, that educating users about self-sovereignty and the importance of not your keys, not your coins is crucial to preserving the decentralized vision of cryptocurrency. And me personally, when the spot Bitcoin ETF was approved, I definitely was not too content regarding it. And if you actually go to the Blockchain DXB website, at the very front page at the bottom of the page, you'll see a document explaining that. So please feel free to go ahead and download it, Robin, and let me know what your honest thoughts are regarding this. So definitely interesting question. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto with Coffee podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and the Middle East, from the cryptocurrency, blockchain and now artificial intelligence world as well. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.